Welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio from Stewards Planning Group. Stewards Planning Group is a company that specializes in helping you build purposeful retirement plans, custom plans that not only help clients steward their treasure, but also their time and talent as well. They believe if you're taken care of financially, you can go even further to make the family, community, and kingdom impact you truly desire to make, which is the ultimate purpose of wealth. If you'd like to set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting with one of their financial advisors, please give them a call at 222-4236. You can request a meeting at stewardsplanning.com, or you can simply stop by their office on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. I'm your host, Ben Taatjes, and joined today in the studio with Jonathan Shofner, CRPC.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good.
I know I joke about that, even before recording. Last show, we talked a lot about your designation, and you haven't been in our area that long, and certainly working for this firm all that long. It's been, like a lot of our clients are hearing you came in the middle of March, which we all thought you were nuts to come from Texas, a warm client, to Minnesota in March, go from Texas, where there's no state income taxes, to Minnesota, where there are state income taxes. Lots of reasons not to come all the way up north here, but the reason was the opportunity. Right, and you continue to, you just told me off the air, continue to find so many great people that you're meeting with, and I think that's the uniqueness about our firm. Even our firm, our area, yes, I think there's a lot of great people in the Midwest, and certainly in the Wilmer area. Our community is incredibly generous, a lot of awesome nonprofits, and but I think our clients, as we've continued to kind of hold ourselves out as what we stand for, our values, attracts a certain type of people, and I know you've really enjoyed meeting with them.
Absolutely. I'm learning new things every single day from clients, other advisors on the team, tax preparers. We have some EAs in the office, so I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah, no, it's been good having you. Last time we talked a little bit about your designation that you recently got, the CRPC, and the reason I highlighted that was primarily like the importance around planning in our firm, and really in the last, I think probably year or maybe a little more than that now, we've really encouraged all of our clients to develop something we call a steward's plan. And just wrapping up tax season, it's a time when we do tend to be thinking a lot about numbers, a lot about planning. And what I'd never like to see, and this did used to happen, I got to kind of admit maybe to you and to our listeners today that when summer rolled around and all of a sudden it's May, it got pretty easy to take it a little bit easier. Minnesota, you'll find this out, Jonathan, in the summertime here, it's pretty amazing. There's a lot of good things to do and fun things to do. And my wife and I bought a lake home years ago, and those first few years, we would disappear, from probably the afternoon on Thursdays until Monday, and take long weekends. There's nothing against enjoying being in Minnesota, enjoying the weather and stuff, but what I kind of thought of and kind of been wrestling with a little bit in those years is kind of something I think some of our clients have, is when we're not intentional and we kind of wrap up the tax season, if you will, and move into the summer, we tend to be a little bit less careful with our time. And I've seen this with clients before, where it's, we're going to get to that project or this project. And I think that's something we can see. And we're really trying to push this summer our clients to finish projects, to build out a financial plan, to make sure you're dotting every I, crossing every T, because we don't know how much time we've got. And it's really important that we're just finishing up those plans. So I know you had wanted to share with me kind of the first step of what a steward's plan is today. It's something that we really find an important piece of planning, and that's really answering the question of what am I stewarding, and it's about getting organized, isn't it?
Absolutely. You'd be so surprised when I have clients sit down, they don't know where all their money is, where it's coming from, or where old retirement accounts, but this step's very important to have a holistic financial plan.
Yeah, I think what I've noticed is people have a general idea, but then that something happens, and that's, I've dealt with a few widows and widowers in the last several years, and there's always one of the couple that is the money one, right? They're the one that kind of knows where everything is, and the financial one, and I certainly don't. It's part of me takes it as a compliment when the spouse says, "Oh, just call Stewards Planning Group. Go talk to Ben. Go talk to Claire. Go talk to Jonathan. Go talk to Kendra." It's a compliment, but yet I also want both spouses to know generally what's going on, because when that time comes, right, I don't want to rebuild trust, right? So one spouse has been doing a lot of the meetings and handling the finances, and then something happens to that spouse, and now all of a sudden we're rebuilding trust in a time when it's tough to rebuild trust because you're broken and there's a lot going on. So we find that the step one of really coming up with a deeply organized, what we basically call a statement of account values. It's essentially a balance sheet. We wouldn't hold it out as a balance sheet for a lending situation because we're not a CPA firm, but it is a really great place to organize what you have, because we can't steward our stuff, if you will, if we don't know where it is.
Absolutely. Well, I have an example of a couple who just came in the other day, and I think it's really important to have husband and wife in the meetings. They came in, and I was trying to organize, see what exactly what assets they're stewarding, and husband was rambling off, "Oh, we have this." Wife had no clue about it, and then towards the end, the wife's like, "What about this account and this account?" So I think it's just so important having that balance sheet of how the assets are registered. A description of what the assets are and what is the value of them. I think it's just very important for the organized step of the Stewards Plan.
That's perfect. Yeah, and I think that's, we'll cover over the next few weeks just the other pieces of a Stewards Plan. I know it might sound like a review to some people, but at the end of the day, it's those three big questions we have to answer. What am I stewarding? And in this case, what are we stewarding? I want to know with both spouses, so they both are organized and understand where things are. Like you said, it's not uncommon that one spouse has something or the other that they've never really mentioned, and sometimes there's assets that they haven't told us about that come up in those plans, and I think that's okay. But I think what can cause a problem is when nobody knows about an asset that's out there, and that's when things end up at the state of Minnesota as unclaimed property, and we certainly don't want to have that. So step one is organize. Step two is finding out what do I need to live on? How much income do I need now and in the future to live on? And then finally, the last question is, what do I do with what's left over? And it might sound like basic building blocks, but every single client has to answer those three questions in order to be a good steward. So we'll continue to talk about this over the next several weeks of the summer and continue to hopefully help our clients become better stewards. And until next week, from all of us at Stewards Planning Group, steward well.
Welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio from Stewards Planning Group. Stewards Planning Group is a company that specializes in helping you build purposeful retirement plans. Custom plans that not only help clients steward their treasure, but also their time and talent as well. They believe if you're taken care of financially, you can go even further to make the family, community, and kingdom impact you truly desire to make, which is the ultimate purpose of wealth. If you'd like to set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting with one of their financial advisors, please give them a call at 222-4236. You can request a meeting at stewardsplanning.com, or you can simply stop by their office on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer.